Hey guys, it's me again, and I am back with a new video. So first of all, I want to say that they have finally found a vaccine. They finally found a vaccine for COVID-19, aka coronavirus, aka no, aka Wona, whatever you like to call it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that they have it working, or it should hopefully be working by the end of the month. So hopefully the death rates will go down, and hopefully there won't be any more new cases and more new deaths for COVID. And we can hopefully go back to how it was. And also I saw an article on Facebook where it was like talking about the lockdown will last until spring of 2021, so next year I think it was either spring or summer of next year, 2021. So yeah, they need to get a new Prime Minister. We need a new Prime Minister because Boris Johnson doesn't have a clue what he's saying. Especially with the briefing, with tonight's briefing, even if you saw that on BBC News. So it doesn't know what he's saying, but anyway. COVID. What can you do as Wales fire break lockdown ends? Restrictions to people's lives have changed again after Wales fire break lockdown was lifted. There are no travel restrictions in Wales, and 2 households are now able to form a bubble. And pubs, bars, restaurants, gyms, and other businesses are allowed to reopen. But different restrictions are being imposed as others are lifted. So what do we know so far? And businesses shut during the fire break are being allowed to reopen from the 9th of November. So today, at the time of this video being recorded, it's today. But the advice for the public in Wales is to continue to avoid non-essential travel. 2 families can form a bubble and meet up again from 9th of November, as happened prior to the fire break lockdown in Wales. Government said people should limit themselves to seeing the same 1 or 2 people. To help keep everyone as safe as possible at home, only people from your own household or extended household can meet at home. We know that changing the rules to allow 2 households to join together and meet at home will not reflect the family dynamics of many people in Wales, and will not enable friends and young people to meet, said the Welsh Government briefing on the 2nd of November, which announced the new rules. He went on to say that indoor organised events will be allowed over the winter because it will be more difficult to meet outside. After the fire break lockdown, up to 15 people can take part in activities indoors and up to 30 outdoors, providing social distancing, hand hygiene and other COVID safety measures are followed. Groups of 4 people from different Groups of 4 people from different households are allowed to meet indoors at pubs, cafes and restaurants after Wales fire break lockdown ends. However, 4 people should be an absolute maximum and not a target, the Welsh Government said. The sale of alcohol after 10 p.m. is still banned. Larger groups of people who all live together in the same house are allowed to eat and drink out together. Ask people to visit such places as small as groups as possible. The rule of 4 will also apply when meeting people from different households outdoors away from your home, but meeting anyone from outside your household bubble in someone's garden is not allowed. 2 households are allowed to form a bubble after the end of the fire break, but groups of more than 4 people who are in the same bubble are not allowed in pubs, cafes or restaurants. The requirement to work from home whenever possible still remains in Wales according to new rules. As work is considered essential, people are permitted to travel over the border into England despite its planned lockdown. Not unless it's essential. So, restricted list of essential purposes allow people to travel between regions such as going to work. England entered a 4-week lockdown last Thursday, while Wales fire break restrictions have been eased. List, blah blah blah. All schools reopen as normal from Monday the 9th of September. Oh, they're lucky. They got like much longer break. Anyway. Primary and special schools reopen on 2nd November. After half-term break, and in secondary schools, only pupils in Year 7 and 8 went back to class during Wales fire break. Childcare facilities remained open during the lockdown. Grandparents and other relatives could care for children. Parents allowed to continue to stay with both parents. Yes, but only in Wales, with no restrictions travel in Wales. Travels to be for essential reasons only. People are still allowed to make visits to a person's homes in Wales if they are concerned about their well-being. A reasonable excuse may brings risk to it, but it's a genuine reason that will be allowable in Wales. Wales has finished its 17-day circuit breaker and introduced new COVID restrictions. England is under a new 4-week lockdown with new rules for everything from meeting friends to going to the shops. And Scotland has moved to a 5-tier system of coronavirus restrictions, while Northern Ireland is under a temporary lockdown. Wales has completed its lockdown in which people were told to stay at home. Extended households were scrapped from most, and pubs, restaurants and non-essential shops were closed. 2 households can form a bubble and will be able to meet in their own homes. Up to 15 people can meet for organised activities indoors, rising to 30 outdoors. All businesses that were required to close during the lockdown can reopen. There will be no travel restrictions within Wales, but you can only leave the country for essential purposes, like work during the English lockdown. 2nd of December. You should stay at home except for education and work if it can't be done from home. Exercise. Medical reasons, shopping for essentials altogether. Others, households must not mix with others indoors or outdoors. You can meet one person from outside your household in an outdoor public space. Children under 5 don't count. Support bubbles for people who live alone. Support groups over 15 or fewer people are allowed. For new parents or people recovering from addictions. Children can move between homes if parents are separated. Informal childcare. Support bubbles for children aged 13 or under can continue. It is possible to visit friends and family in care homes as long as COVID secure measures are in place, such as the use of floor-to-ceiling screens, visiting pods, and arranging outdoor and window visits. Schools, nurseries, colleges and universities will remain open. Staff and pupils at secondary schools Year 7 and above must wear face coverings in communal areas outside the classrooms. Childminders and nannies can continue to provide childcare. Students who live at university must not return to their permanent home until the end of term. Workplaces can stay open if people cannot work from home. Those who are clinically vulnerable are advised not to go to work if they can't do so from home. You can take outdoor exercise on your own with members of your household, or with one other person. Above, you can exercise outside as much as you want. Outdoor playgrounds can remain open. All leisure and sports centres and gyms, swimming pools, tennis, basketball courts, street driving is closed. Elite sport can carry on behind closed doors. Grassroots team sports are not allowed. What is that, by the way? Grassroots team sports, let me know. All pubs and restaurants must close. Takeaways and deliveries can continue. All non-essential shops must close. Click and collect services and deliveries can continue. All personal care facilities must close. Hair, beauty, tanning, nail salons, tattoos and massage parlours. Staff cannot offer those services in people's homes. Supermarkets, food shops off licences. Pharmacies can remain open. Bike shops, hardware stores, dry cleaners, pet shops can also remain open. Motorway service stations can remain open. Libraries can remain open. Weddings and civil partnerships ceremonies will not be allowed. Funerals can be attended by 30 people. Worship will be open to prayer. You can still visit potential properties. You can stay in the hotel overnight. You can continue to work. People outside your household support bubble should not help you with moving house unless absolutely necessary. Placing at level and time, 6 people from 2 households can meet indoors. Pub or restaurant hospitality is a 10:30 curfew. No gatherings inside people's homes, but up to 6 people from 2 households can meet outdoors. Alcohol can be served indoors with a meal until 8 p.m. and outdoors until 10:30 p.m. No indoor gatherings at homes. Pubs and restaurants can open until 6 p.m. but alcohol cannot be served. Close to full lockdown. Schools will stay open in all levels. Northern Ireland is in the middle of 4 weeks of restrictions. Schools closed for 2 week extended half-term break but have now reopened. Pubs, bars, restaurants must close, except for takeaways and deliveries, which must stop by 11 p.m. Support bubbles will be limited to maximum 10. You are not allowed to stay overnight. Someone else's home. Close contact services like hairdressers and beauticians must close. No indoor contact sport allowed unless elite level. No mass events of more than 15 people. Wedding receptions limited to 25. Same with funerals. Keep 2 meters away from each other. 1 meter plus. Unless it's non-practical. Sold. Anyone support bubble if you have one, not to be too close. England is currently under a national lockdown, during which nobody can meet anyone from outside the household. Scotland is moving to a 5-tier system restrictions for Monday. Lockdown in Wales is now finished. 2 households in Wales can now form a bubble, can meet in their own homes. 15 people are allowed to meet for organised activities indoors and up to 30 outdoors. People living in Northern Ireland are also currently under restrictions. Support bubbles are limited to maximum 10. Education, training, workplaces, youth clubs. Then it's £200 for first offence, and £6,400. To spread the coronavirus. Wales 17-day fire-break lockdown has ended. Groups of up to 4 people in different households can meet. Cafes, pubs, restaurants. Shops, gyms, hairdressers and places for us can reopen. Supermarkets can sell non-essential items. People can meet inside homes with members of one other household if they are part of a bubble. 10 p.m. curfew on alcohol sales will continue. No restrictions on travel in Wales, but people will only be allowed to leave the country for reasons such as work. 2 meter social distancing and wearing face masks in closed public places, including on public transport and taxis. People should work from home whenever possible. Up to 15 people can take part in an organised indoor activity and up to 30 in an organised activity outdoors, providing more social distancing, hand wash, hand hygiene and other COVID safety measures are followed. All schools and year groups resume. We cannot go back to the way we were living lives and throwing away all that hard work. True. That's true. Wales fire-break lockdown will end on November 9th, so today, at the time of filming this video. And on that date, a new set of rules will come into effect. Strict guidelines have meant we're not able to meet with anyone we do not live with unless it's a reasonable excuse. Non-essential businesses have now been closed, and some year groups were not allowed to return to school after half-term. This reopening turning bubbles. Many of us will be wondering what we can and can't do from November 9th. Monday, November 9th, today, is required to start coming open. Schools can operate fully with moving up people chains. Yeah, I'm on my phone, by the way. The schools will reopen. Yes, although there are limitations and still from an extended house bubble of another. Former November 9th from sold who agrees to partner with you. Probably previously bubble up restrictions early in the year. Anyone from bubble inside the homes, like a shop or restaurant. No limit. People within the bubble. Limitations to form a bubble with. Nowadays. Yes, bubble some of England. I would see them. Excuse to be someone in the bubble. You can meet people outside your bubble. Places like restaurants. No more than 4 people meeting. Children under the age of 11 do not count. Cannot meet up with anyone in home or garden. 2 meter social distancing. Nice organised activity. 15 can be indoors, 30 outdoors. Care home visits are allowed to take place. Family, music provided childcare. Grounds, free to travel and want within Wales, at reasonable excuse. Like for work or education. Wales has already lived there, but you cannot go abroad. Prior to close during the fire break can reopen on November 9th. Hairdressers and barbers, retail shops, gyms can reopen too. Yes, licensed premises must still stop selling alcohol by 10 pm and close 20 minutes later. Coverings should also be worn anytime you're not seated to eat or drink. Are still required to sell. Nightclubs are also unallowed to reopen yet. Cinemas, bowling alleys can welcome back visitors and customers if they implement social distancing measures. All education settings are allowed to reopen fully, but like the way before the 5-week lockdown. This means places like universities that will still be using a mix of online and face-to-face learning. Down has forced closure for businesses including non-essential shops, pubs, cafes, restaurants, Friday the 23rd of October and Monday 9th of November, so today, again. Non-essential shops closed, allowed to sell certain items, venues serving food and drinks, not to open and taking safety offer takeaway. The Monday, groups of people, those are allowed to meet in the cafe, pub, restaurant. Children under the age of 11 do not count. The bubble being closed. November has been confirmed. Have been permitted for legal restrictions to travel in Wales. 15 people can take part in organised activities. Form a bubble from 9th November. 2 metre social distancing and wear face masks. People also asked to continue to practice good hand hygiene. Meet up in cafe, bar, restaurant for Monday. 4 individuals from 4 households. Setting children under the age of 11 do not count. Depending on big the pub or restaurant is, not apply. Serving food and drinks, takeaway service, force from 23rd of October. Family provides childcare. 20 minutes later. Been banned from meeting friends and family outside the household. 9th of November, 2 households are also allowed to bubble together. Groups of up to 4 people from different households are able to meet outside spaces. And instead have to meet people in pub or restaurant or public spaces like a park. Count. Also on 23rd of October. England is being placed into a new national lockdown from Thursday. Pubs, lesser facilities. Lockdown lasts for 4 weeks on midnight on Thursday and ending on December 2nd. All indoor household mixing will be banned and people will only be able to meet outdoors in public space with one other person. Stay at home advice for learning. Outdoors for work, education, work, exercise, and recreation. Leaving the house for medical reasons. League will continue. Close. Pubs, bars, restaurants, except for takeaway and delivery. Non-essential shops will close. Cities like gyms, hairdressing, beauty, educating settings such as schools, colleges, unis, and nurseries will be allowed to remain open. Project will be allowed to open for private prayer. Uni will also be allowed to close. Weddings will not be permitted for essential work reasons. Adults in Wales will be able to join together to form a bubble from next Monday. is still being finalised. Impossible people to live with. So 2 households will be able to meet. People should only meet with a bubble in their own home. New arrangements to meet indoors and other settings, such as pubs, bars, cafes and restaurants. Also closed in fire breaks such as restaurants, cafes, pubs and gyms will be able to reopen on November 9th. There will be a ban on travel between Wales and England, not to do so with views such as work. It's not allowed. Some travel, 9th November, only if necessary. England's lockdown. 15 people can take part in organised indoor activity, up to 30 in activity. Social distancing, hand hygiene, other COVID measures are followed. To meet social distancing and wear face masks will continue. Public places and transport. Contact is important. Be able to meet Monday. Not clear. Monday, full household. Rated setting 11 do not count, so do not apply in the same household. 23rd of October. Takeaway service since the 2-week lockdown. People will also only be able to meet others in terms of form 2 households run together in homes, gardens, house parties, all being unlawful. Wait fire lockdown. Come to an end. Black people are not allowed to meet with anyone they do not live with. Some year groups are not allowed to return to school after the end of half term. Can now travel anywhere they want within Wales, or businesses have been allowed to reopen and people will now be able to reform bubbles with one of the household. So, yeah, oh god, it's a long video, might as well end it now. So I'll see you all in the next video, whenever that will be. So, yeah, bye, peace out, and let's hope they get this vaccine working. Bye!